Hey guys, this is Nikki Witherspoon. I wanted to come on and shoot a quick video about how to make an awesome thumbnail for your YouTube videos. Alright, so before we go any further, do me a quick favor. I need you to hit the like button on this video. Go ahead and subscribe to this channel if you aren't already, and hit that little bell. That way you'll get notified anytime I upload a new video. Alright, so there are a couple ways you can attack thumbnails. I'm going to use PicMonkey today. Now, I'm not going to go into great detail on how to use PicMonkey. I'll do a completely different video because there's so many different nuances with this. But this is the program that I'm going to use today. So along with PicMonkey, I'm also going to use a program called Clipping Magic. Now, if you've gone through my videos before, I have raved about Clipping Magic over and over and over again. And guys, Clipping Magic has gotten some major upgrades since the few years ago when I did the review on them. So they have upgraded big time. So we'll get into that in a minute. But first things first, in PicMonkey, what I'm going to do is go to Templates. And when this pops up, I'm going to scroll down right here under Template Sets, and you will see one for YouTube. Then I just click All, and then when you're in here, it gives you YouTube covers and YouTube thumbnails. I just hit All on the thumbnails, and guys, what you'll notice is there's tons and tons and tons of templates. And what I like about PicMonkey versus other programs like Canva or Paint or whatever other program that you find out there is that PicMonkey's thumbnails seem to be more modern, more current, more up to date with the trends that are on YouTube. I mean, you could just take a look at them off the bat. They already look super, super up to date, right? Like you don't have to really do a lot but change pictures and stuff like that out. So let's just find one in here and let's kind of work with it. I think I like this one for what I'm going to go through with. All right, so I clicked on it. What you see is it pulled over, and I'm over here pointing to stuff like you can actually see me, but you see the template pulled over to my active screen, so now I can kind of manipulate it. So when you're doing a thumbnail on YouTube, or you're doing a YouTube thumbnail, excuse me, you need to understand what your video is about, right? What is your content covering? What would you like to portray in this one single snapshot, which is your thumbnail, to the public? What is going to make them click on your video versus someone else's? All right. And a lot of that starts with your thumbnail. Okay. So figure out what it is that you want to grab their attention with, right? And that's where you kind of lead with. Now, thumbnails, they're really subjective. I mean, they're really up to the creator. The same way it's up to the viewer to decide whether or not to click on them. So you're always going to be going out on a limb with no matter what thumbnail you do, right? You'll never know if you get it right or wrong. And guys, you can always go back and change thumbnails, so it's really not a big deal, right? So another thing about thumbnails is often what you'll probably notice if you've surfed around YouTube is creators tend to use a lot of clickbait, right? So this particular image right here, it looks kind of like clickbait because they have these exclamation points over here, and then this person looks visibly like, whoo, like, oh my gosh, right? So that's a clickbaitish type of an image. All right, so we're going to use this as a starting point, and then we're going to kind of build from there. All right, so the video that I'm going to make a thumbnail for is a reaction video that Derek and I did yesterday for an SNL skit on Frozen 2. I will leave a link in the description so that way you can see the final product and you can see the thumbnail in action, but let's just start from there. So with the Frozen 2, this is the actual video, and the way that we start the thumbnails is I will actually start taking random screenshots that I think stick out from the video and then kind of start the manipulation process. So I've already done this, so I'm going to go back to PicMonkey. I've already done this, and over here on the side, I'm going to open up some of these. So here are a few of the various screenshots that I have from the actual video. And if you see this one that's on the screen now is one from the actual recording of me and Derek doing the actual reaction. Okay. So on this type of screenshot, there's so many things I can do. I can isolate myself and crop it out. I can isolate him and crop it out. I can isolate the actual image of the video, or I can do the whole thing. There's so many different ways that you can do this. And what we're going to do is kind of play around with it. One of the things with thumbnails is you have to use your creativity. with PicMonkey, of course, you can go in there and use their templates and just use their pre-made templates and just replace whatever they have on the screen. But I like to make things more custom and more custom to the videos that we're doing and more to reflect the personality that we have and the personality that I project through whatever I produce. So I'm not content with just leaving it with whatever the template is. I look at the template as a starting point. Now, if you're not comfortable with as much manipulation of the graphics, by all means, guys, start off with the template and then work your way up as you go, as you get more used to or more comfortable with the controls. All right. So these are a few of the screenshots that I have to kind of work with. All right. And I'm kind of going to go through some of these. I think this is one that I'm going to actually kind of play around with. And what I'm going to do is kind of crop this out. And I do have a Mac, so cropping is fairly easy. I can do it with just 2 fingers on my keyboard. So this is one that I'm going to keep. All right, and on this one, I'm going to crop this out because I'm going to play around with a few of them, right? I'm going to play around with a few of these. And this is an Olaf one, and you're going to see what I'm going to do with some of these Olaf ones, or what I'm going to do with some of these different pictures. All right, so I'm just going to crop out what I need, okay? I think with this one, I'm going to see what I can do with a screenshot of myself. And then with Elsa, I'm gonna just, or whoever played Elsa, I'm just gonna crop a few different things. All right, now I know the videos of, or the screenshots or the crops of Derek and I at the top are not the best quality, but I don't really intend on using them for, you know, the full screen. Like, I'm not gonna blow them up. All right, so I'm not gonna use that last one, so I'm gonna go ahead and close these. All right, so these are all of my edited images. What I'm gonna do right quick is I'm just going to go into Clipping Magic, and I'm gonna throw some stuff in here. Now, guys, you can see what I do Clipping Magic all the time. All right, so I'm gonna throw some of these in here, and I will do a whole nother review on Clipping Magic. I'm just showing you my process for right now. All right, so I think that's all that I needed to have clipped. Okay, so that means these are all here, and I kind of like to just spread them out a bit so that I can see them and know what I'm working with. Okay, so guys, I'm finished with Clipping Magic, so I can go back to PicMonkey. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do is get rid of some of the stuff that I don't need. So this particular image I don't need, so I'm gonna go ahead and delete that. This I may use, so I'm gonna kind of just push it off to the side for right now. I don't really want this background image, so I'm gonna delete it. Okay, so you have 2 options. You can either come over here and click replace and go find it that way, but I see this has some sort of like a blue filter on it, and honestly, guys, I don't feel like messing with this, so I'm just gonna delete the entire thing. I'm gonna come over here and grab the image that I want to try to use as my background, or I'm gonna attempt to use as my background first. I'm just gonna drag it over and it uploads. Okay, so from here I kind of just manipulate it a little bit more and see if that's where I like it, and if I'm cool with that, then over here, if you see that it kind of went over those exclamation points, my exclamation points are still here. I can actually come over here and just move them back to the front. Okay, so I'm going to work with this one right now and see how I like it. Okay, so this is going to be my starting off point. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to drag my Olaf, because I'm going to make a play on words, or play on this picture of Olaf. Okay. So I just kind of put Olaf in the corner, and you see, because I removed his background, I don't have all that extra junk back there. I just have Olaf, right? So as you notice, because the background with Kristoff and Anna, okay, kind of is a little bit, you know, in the middle, and it's kind of got a lot going on, you kind of lose Olaf. So one of the big trends going on in YouTube right now is to put an outline around whatever image you put on top of your background. So with Olaf, I'm going to click on him. I'm going to come over here to effects. I'm going to click on outline. As you see, it already automatically added a pink outline. I'm kind of going to play around with it a little bit and see what happens if I put different colors. Maybe we'll go with the blue. All right. Now remember, Olaf isn't set in stone. I may use him, I may not use him. We'll kind of see how it goes, right? Because I can either use Olaf or I can use the Elsa character. But let's kind of stick with Olaf for right now. So let's go back to these little dots here, or dots, these little exclamation points. I'm going to actually reduce the size of these suckers because they are too big. Okay. The next thing I want to do is I kind of want to drop my text in and kind of see what I'm working with here a little bit. So I'm going to come over here to text, and I'm just going to add text. I mean, you can come down here and use whatever pre-made, sets that they have for layouts, but I'm just going to add text. And in here, I'm going to type Olaf's carrot is really a what? Question mark, exclamation point, question mark. Okay, so once again, if you've watched the skit, then you know what I mean. So I'm going to highlight that because it's entirely too big for what I want it to do. I'm just going to start off with the 100 and see what that does. All right, so 100 brought it down to a reasonable size for me. I'm going to highlight it one more time. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of play around with the font. Okay, so I like it here because I like this versus Canva because, number one, it's faster. And it lets you really change the fonts and play around with it a whole lot more than Canva does. All right, so you can kind of play around with it and see which one you think is going to work best with what you're saying and what the theme of your video is. Okay, so Olaf's carrot is really a what? I mean, I like that. It's okay. Let me play around with some other things because the same way that we put that outline around Olaf, we can put that same outline around the text. So I can highlight it in like a pink or, yellow is not good. Purple, black doesn't really do much for us. Green sticks out. I don't really want to go with a pink, honestly. Purple is all right. I kind of like the black is okay. Let's try the black and then change the font color itself. Maybe that would be a good one. Okay, so do green. Looks like it's kind of bleeding together. I don't really care for that. I kind of want it to pop, so I mean, we might need to go with a white and kind of see what we're working with. Possibly. All right, let's stick with the white and let's go play around with the backs. Now, guys, I mean, this is a creative process. I mean, you kind of fiddle around with it until you find something that works with what you want to see, how you want to see things. I might be okay with this shade, that darker shade of green. Matter of fact, let's maybe try a darker shade of blue. Nah, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Nah, again, no, let's stick with this darker shade of green for right now. Okay. What I'm going to do also is, I'm going to play around with the layout of the words too. All right, so I guess I will try this one. The way this is coming out, I think I'm okay with it for right now. Remember, you can always go back in there and change it. So I'm going to start off with this and see, what I'm thinking for right now. The more I play around with it, the more I am not liking these exclamation points. I like the ones that I went ahead and typed into the text itself. So I'm going to just delete those. Okay, hello, delete all the way. Okay, delete, try that again. I'm going to delete those. What I'm going to do over here is under graphics, I'm going to type in emojis and see if I can find something that may fit in here. Maybe I'll try that. I'm just going to dump a couple of them in here and see what I think about them. Remember, you can always delete them later. All right. But I'd rather have more and then have to delete than not be able to be content with what I have. I'm also going to look for an OMG. So there's one and there's one. I think I can already tell you I don't like that one. Okay. So I'm going to put this OMG over here for right now. And then let's kind of play around with these faces that I have. Okay. So this little face, I actually kind of like that because it's not your traditional yellow smiley face. And it's got the tongue sticking out kind of sideways. So it's like, funny, right? So let me kind of play around with this and see what it looks like. Remember, guys, just be creative, play around with it and see what works and what doesn't. I mean, these you can kind of shrink in size or make them bigger, whatever you want, you know, and if you want to, you can kind of tilt them left or right. So let me try to like tilt that sucker that way. Okay, so these two smiley faces, I can tell you off the bat, they're throwing me off because they're a little bit darker yellow than I really like myself. So what I'm going to do is click on it and I'm going to come in here and change the color to a bright yellow and change that outline to a black. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing over here. You can already see it already lightens up the entire image, right? So I'm going to change that color to a yellow and change that outline to black. Bam, already they look a million times better. So this is basically the LOL or crying, you know, emoji. So you can put that there. This is the winky face emoji because once again, if you've seen the skit, it's a bit risque. So you can kind of put something like that in there. You can copy this OMG if you want to just add more filler to the page. So I'm just going to copy it and maybe shrink it a little bit and kind of play with it that way. Now these OMGs, you can change the colors. Another reason why I love PicMonkey over some of the other ones, because you can like pretty much modify dang near anything. And that's awesome. You know, with Canva and some other sites, you can only modify certain objects and certain things, and you really can't do much with the font and like outline and stuff like that. So that's why I really, really like these. I think I am going to maybe kind of play around with it like this. I mean, I think I'm getting to a point where I'm okay with it at this point, honestly. The blue is growing on me. I'm going to move this over a little bit. The blue is growing on me. I might add, maybe I'll copy this one and add another one over here. Who knows? I mean, once again, if I don't like it at the end, I can always delete it, you know. I'm going to take this and I think I'll make this one, let's see, play with a different color. Maybe I'll just leave it blue. I seem to have a blue theme going on here, you know, so I can kind of tilt this so it's not boring. I think I liked it where it was. And this is kind of bothering me that it's so big. Might just kind of throw that there. I mean, kind of just spread stuff out, you know. It's based off your own creativity. Okay, so I think I'm satisfied with this, in all honesty. I might just leave it like this. So we'll go with this for right now. I'm going to change the name of this to Frozen 2 Skit, or Frozen 2 SNL Skit. How about that? Hello, give me a space. And I'm going to download it. And there we go. All right, so there you see, I'm uploading the video. My job is done. It really wasn't that hard, just required a little bit of effort and a little bit of creativity, and bam, there you go. A perfect thumbnail that's going to stick out and hopefully get you more clicks on your video. So guys, if you like this video, please go ahead and click the like button. Also, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to have a lot more content that is business related and just general coming out very, very soon. So go ahead and hit that bell notification so you can get notified every time I upload a new video. All right, guys, see you on the other side.